This is your SPMA 2P65 Vodcast assignment. In professional sports, every team will have a different way of trying to achieve and craft their own success in order to compete in an evolving and high-pressure sporting environment. The pathway to building a championship caliber team can vary greatly depending on the franchise's resources, culture, and long-term vision. Moreover, as a group, we will be looking at how 4 teams from each of the 4 major North American sporting leagues effectively use the 3 different methods of developing talent through a data-driven approach with scouting and signing, timely outsourcing of key players through trades, and capitalizing on the free agent market to create an effective and competitive team. We will also then take this information on the team and analyze the team's strategy and its relevance to and capitalization of sports marketing. Finally, we will distinguish from a media perspective what is more respective, buying a championship or developing one, supported by insights from academic journals and media articles.
The Chicago Cubs' 2016 season is still one of the most groundbreaking periods in Major League Baseball history, as the team ended a 108-year championship drought since the World Series. The Chicago Cubs' success was attributed to the incorporation of new generation strategies, emphasis on player development, and on-field and off-field greatness. Their 2016 World Series title solidified their place as a top-shelf MLB franchise predicated on a solidly built model of constructing a team and committed invested fan base. Organizing and assembling internal talents was the most crucial to the ascension of the Cubs to national prominence within MLB. Chris Bryant became one of the league's shining stars, Javier Baez, a Cub farm product who became a firecracker hitter, and Anthony Rizzo, a highly popular locker room leader, a franchise face. And Jake Arrieta, the 2013 acquisition of the Cubs, was another key contributor to the championships. The Cubs front office, headed by President of Baseball Operations Theo Epstein, had ready talent waiting to play in the majors, and developing players like Bryant, Baez, and Rizzo allowed them to construct a roster that was ready for championships. Along with their developmental and drafting success, the Cubs also completed some trades that helped put their roster in place. The 2016 trade for Aroldis Chapman completed their Cubs bullpen, as they now had the dominant closer that they were missing to shut down crucial postseason victories. The trade for Dexter Fowler brought in a dynamic leadoff hitter and a good outfielder that contributed both offensively and defensively. These transactions allowed the Cubs to add to their roster for a championship push, supplementing their strong core of homegrown talent. The Cubs were always frugal in building their roster, but when they finally opened their free agent checkbook, they left that habit behind. Perhaps their best free agent acquisition in one of the offseason was Ben Zobrist, a power-hitting hitter who brought the young team much-needed veteran leadership. Another one is John Lester, who also brought leadership skills and postseason experience to the Cubs rotation. His 2016 playoff contribution was instrumental in ensuring the team's win and allowed them to be declared the World Series champions. These 2 guys were among the most prominent signings that provided the Cubs within the depth and experience they needed to secure the highly desired World Series title. Culture outside of Chicago was shaped by the Cubs fan base. Historic Wrigley Field served as a backdrop for the Cubs' 2016 season, which drew fans all over America. In order to make their eventual championship more acceptable, the Cubs' marketing strategy drew heavily on their rich past, including the Lovable Losers campaign. In order to maintain a strong social presence, the team also used social media to interact with fans from around the world with the regular Chicago residents. The Cubs made a lasting impression that went well beyond their on-field exploits like Rizzo, Bryant, Baez were just common names.
The next team we look at is the Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics have built their recent success through a strategic combination of drafting and developing talent, displaying well-calculated trades, and establishing marketing campaigns to engage their fan base. Their 2024 NBA championship was the outcome of years of planning, patience, and smart decision-making, illustrating principles of sustainable team building and consumer engagement. The foundation of the Celtics' championship-winning culture and roster was displayed through their commitment to drafting and developing talent, a technique that portrays the long-term success model seen in other professional sports. The selection of Jaylen Brown, 3rd overall in 2016, and Jason Tatum, 3rd overall in 2017, handed Boston 2 elite, cornerstone All-NBA superstars. In addition, Boston developed value in later draft picks, like Peyton Pritchard, 26th overall in 2020, who has become a key bench contributor and 6th Man of the Year candidate. The Celtics' ability to establish young talent has allowed them to maintain long-term success without relying solely on external acquisitions. This technique displays the develop and sustain philosophy that aligns with fans and builds team loyalty over time. While their draft method laid the groundwork, the Boston Celtics displayed multiple strategic trades to upgrade their roster and bolster them over the top. To begin with, the trade for Drew Holiday in 2023 was a defining move, as the Celtics capitalized on the fallout of the Damian Lillard trade to ensure they obtain a veteran guard with championship experience who contributes to their winning culture. As well, by far the boldest move was the decision to acquire Kristaps Porzingis and trade longtime beloved Celtics fan favorite Marcus Smart in a three-way trade. While initially met with uncertainty, this move illustrated to be critical during their championship run. In addition to roster construction and coaching, the Celtics emphasized their rich history and recent success to establish an even stronger connection with their fan base. One of the major components of their branding and marketing in the 2024 playoff run was their Different Year campaign, acknowledging the Celtics' unique culture, winning tradition, and blue-collar mentality and mindset. This campaign was to illustrate that the Boston Celtics basketball is built different, with relentless force on defense, team-oriented play, and long-term success. The Different Year slogan was featured heavily in social media, merchandise, and game promotions, representing Celtics' identity as a franchise that establishes championship teams through development, hard work, and smart roster adjustments. This campaign has well connected with fans due to the Celtics' storied history. With their 18 NBA championships, Boston's consistency illustrated ways to win by doing things differently from different teams in the association.
Now on to the third team. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have been one of the more exciting and competitive NFL teams in recent years. With the Super Bowl championship in 2020 and 4 consecutive NFC South titles, they have significantly grown as a franchise and have boosted media attention and fan engagement for this success. This is largely due to the team's relations of being a smaller market team and their management group understanding such and building a strategic team around it. Through a roster building approach, focusing on scouting, drafting, development, and landing key free agents acquisitions, which allows the team to stay competitive. Looking at how the Buccaneers rely on scouting, drafting, and player development to build a sustainable roster as a small market team, they rely heavily on maximizing value through strong draft selections, knowing they can't always attract marquee free agents. A great example is Mike Evans, who has become one of the NFL's top receivers. Other key draft pick examples are Chris Godwin, Devin White, Antoine Winfield Jr., Tristan Wirfs, Rashad White, and Bucky Irving, who have developed, maintained long-term competitiveness. While not all were instant stars, they developed well and been a crucial and sustainable point in this team's history. Looking at free agency, which has played another major role in Tampa Bay's recent success, with the most evident signing being Tom Brady in 2020, which was the most impactful, transforming the franchise and attracting players such as Rob Gronkowski, Leonard Fournette, and Antonio Brown, which were all instrumental in their Super Bowl win. Looking at the team more recently after Brady's departure, the Buccaneers faced yet another challenge of rebuilding around a QB spot using the pieces left behind. This led to the signing of Baker Mayfield in 2023, which provided the team with this to be a smart move, as he thrived in their system, which led them to a playoff run over the last 2 years. Evidently, these acquisitions highlight how well-timed free agent signings can revolutionize a team and keep its fan engaged. Lastly, not Tampa's primary strategy here, but trades, which have strategically strengthened the roster in a small way. Most notably, small trades who have added depth to their defensive line during the Super Bowl run and winning seasons. Although Tampa doesn't rely heavily on drafting Although Tampa does rely heavily on drafting and free agency, the trades have definitely helped and addressed the needs at the right time. Final thoughts. Tampa Bay roster building strategies have not only made the competitiveness of the team, but have also significantly boosted their marketability and fan engagement. This is evident through how they've maximized star power, capitalizing on Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski, and other marquee names to drive merchandise sales, TV ratings, and sponsorships, making them one of the NFL's most watched teams recently. Although their strong fan engagement through those successful years has reflected in ticket sales, ranking them in the top 5 for new ticket sales over the last 12 seasons, and reaching the number 1 spot in 2020 with a top-tier customer service, further strengthening fan loyalty. Additionally, the Buccaneers have expanded their global presence through their top talent by participating in NFL-hosted international games and international home marketing areas, increasing international merchandising sales. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have definitely successfully been able to leverage on-field success to drive off-field growth through their recent successes, Super Bowl wins, playoff runs, which have expanded their brand, increasing revenue, and securing their status as a more profitable NFL team. But most importantly, they have been able to showcase how to transition from a very small market team into a successful media grabbing, market attaining, and organizationally ran proper team for a small market standpoint.
The Pittsburgh Penguins solidified their position as one of the finest teams in the NHL, winning the Stanley Cups back-to-back 2016 and 2017. The Penguins created a model for long-term success by making intelligent signings, drafting effectively, and being willing to adjust their style of play. Their ability to combine all the elements of team building with an unbreakable bond with their loyal fan base was cemented with this historic win. The core of the talented homegrown roster was the hub of the squad. Sidney Crosby was instrumental in leading them to both Stanley Cup titles, alongside with Jenny Malkin, arguably one of the most exciting players in the NHL. The introduction of fresh talent was also another important component. The team's arsenal was extended still further in the 2016 playoffs by the performance and goal scoring of Jake Gensel and the speed of Brian Rust. The Penguins assembled the ideal team, a team ideally suited for championship contention by combining young stars with seasoned veterans. The Penguins are known for developing young players, but they have also acquired some outstanding players over the years. When they acquired Phil Kessel from the Toronto Maple Leafs in 2015, it was a notable and memorable moment. The deal boosted their scoring and added toughness. Kessel played with a vital role, scoring and assisting in some of the most important playoff games. The addition of defensemen Trevor Daley and Carl Hagelin bolstered their lineup and helping them to clinch the Stanley Cup. These strategic moves addressed crucial gaps and empowered the Penguins to compete at the top tier. The Penguins had the money to make important moves during free agency, which kept their dreams of winning more championships alive. They worked hard to keep key players like Malkin and Chris Letang, which was important for holding the team together. Their ability to sign key top talents on good contracts gave them a strong competitive edge, which allowed them to remain contenders for the championship year after year. The Penguins turned their success into a way of better connect with fans, both in Pittsburgh and all over the world. Thanks to their winning streak, they brought back passionate fans. They got more involved with fans by using social media and websites to communicate better. The Cups in 6 logo became well known, reminding people of their 2016 championship victory and winning the hearts of hockey fans everywhere. By staying active in the community and being part of Pittsburgh's exciting sports culture, they maintained strong ties with local fans and drew attention from a wider international audience. Between 2015 and 2017, the victories in the Stanley Cup were clear proof of their excellent player development and clever training decisions. They skillfully adapted to the changes in the modern NHL hockey. These achievements have earned them a reputation as one of the top teams with a solid history of continued success.
Now we'll look at buying versus developing championships. So first I'll talk about buying championship. As we've seen through the teams explored in this presentation, there are two major strategies franchises use to build a championship contender. Buying a championship by spending heavily on free agents and trades, or developing players and culture internally over time. While both can lead to success, they are viewed differently by fans, media, and even scholars. As Zebalist 2010 explains, teams that buy their way to success often face skepticism regarding the legitimacy of their titles. The media can frame these championships less authentic, portraying them as a result of financial power rather than teamwork or long-term planning. Smith 2011 and Hill and Taylor 2017 argue this method risks widening the gap between large and small market teams, potentially damaging league competitiveness and long-term fan equity.
In contrast, developing championships foster stronger team chemistry, fan loyalty, and stability over time. According to Barry, organically built teams are not only respected more, but also tend to maintain consistent engagement across seasons. Who adds that development-oriented franchises contribute to greater competitive balance, making leagues more entertaining and less predictable.
From a media perspective, the consensus leans in favor of developed championships. These teams are often portrayed as more authentic, earned, and emotionally fulfilling for both players and fans. While super teams or high-spending clubs can generate headlines and trophies, they may be viewed as manufactured or lacking identity. As Goliath notes, fans take greater pride in teams that grow together, face adversity, and succeed through internal culture. In the end, both methods can be effective, but the reception varies greatly. Buying a championship may deliver instant results, but it comes with reputational risks. Developing a championship, on the other hand, tends to earn deeper respect from the media and sports alike, reflecting values of patience, planning, and authenticity in sport.
In conclusion, establishing a championship team in professional sports is never one size fits all. Seen through the case of the Chicago Cubs, Boston Celtics, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Pittsburgh Penguins, each organization is taking a different path. Some emphasizing draping and developing, while others are leveraging big trades and free agent acquisitions. Furthermore, in today's evolving sporting industry, organizations in professional sports might decide whether to establish their team slowly or chase instant success with financial power. In the industry, there's no correct formula, but understanding the pros and cons of each pathway is essential to building not just a winning team, but a lasting legacy.